Hello there everybody and welcome to my starting strategy guide for Against the Storm. In this video I'm going to summarize my typical starter setup for pretty much every round that I play. It is a setup that carried me well into the double digits of prestige. Before I start though, a word of advice here. Don't take any of these things as something that is set in stone. I hope to give you a few ideas. You can of course copy this structure as you see fit, but by all means, if you feel like something of your own strategies is fitting better for yourself or is more fun for you, by all means, go for it. That being said, let's get on it. So the very first thing that I really implore everybody to do is check out the bonuses and the problems of your map, okay? Really, take a close look at it and memorize them as well as you can, because these bonuses and debuffs from the storm are really important. Step 2, I get on over to the Ancient Hearth and I either set the priority of wood higher or even forbid the scorching of my starting coal. That's simply because coal is a material that you can use for so many other things rather than just burning it away as a fuel source. The next step is setting up woodcutters camps. I'm always setting up 2 of them, and I always try to think ahead where I want to open up danger glades first. So this area looks pretty good because we have 2 of them right next to each other, and the other option would be to go towards here with all the smaller ones, but I'm personally opting for that one. Then I'm setting down 2 of these because we really do need 2 of them, and then we unpause the game for the first time. I'll wait now until these guys have been completed. The woodcutters are mandatory, absolutely mandatory, you know. And here we go. With these being set up, I now put up the woodcutters that I want to have, and next step, I tell them to cut only marked trees, because, you know, I don't want no accidental glade openings. No, not on my watch. So the next thing I do is I hold control down so I don't accidentally mark trees that would open up glades, and I set up a generous cutting zone that ends right in front of the first danger glades. That's important because I'm opening up my way for the next year, because I want to open up these as fast as possible. With that being done, that comes the next step. I'm building up shelters. Every shelter can carry up to 3 people. So here currently I host 12 people, so I build 4 shelters. These are absolutely important for me, because shelters are a dirty cheap way of gaining resolve. And since I don't have the materials currently to do anything, I set up some paths. I try to keep my workers as busy as possible, you know? There we go. And with the wood being cut, first houses will get done soon as well. So we wait now until the houses have been built. And I'm not drafting anything here currently. We're going to check out the cornerstones here, pick up whatever seems to be well for you. This is nothing I can't generalize at this point, and it's every time a little bit different. So with the houses being built, the global resolve of our people is already rising a little bit. This is especially important if you have very fragile species like harpies or foxes in your city that can get unhappy really quickly. Now then, nobody without housing anymore. Well done. As we see, resolve level is at a decent decent level. So next step, we set up a couple of decorations. Oh, sorry, not there. So there we go. Pressing M while my mouse is hovering above them. So these decorations now will upgrade our hearth to the encampment level, which will yield to more resolve again. So now we are at a pretty good resolve level to begin with. And I just want to point out that if we would be favoring the harpies at this point, they would be already happy enough to produce resolve. So, and reputation, not resolve, sorry, it's reputation. So This is mostly because of the clothing we have, but in a nutshell, I just want to point out how much firepower this setup already has. And we're now seeing enough wood to keep the fire burning. Good. Next step, we're going to set up a couple of gathering camps fitting to the resources you have at your starting point. Hold down B to see which one these are. Here we got ourselves a stormbird nest and a stone deposit. So these things are the next two. And I keep moving my woodcutters closer to the areas where I want to have them working. There we go. Now we go and get these trapper camps and these to work. Really important, these resources carry you through the early game. And then, as a very last step, we're setting up a crude workshop. A crude workstation, I'm sorry. And a makeshift post. The makeshift post is something you can delay if you want to. Basically until you want or need to build some packs of crops or anything like that. And now with this setup, you're all ready to go. This is basically this procedure I do for every single one of my runs. After that, I probably start drafting. You can now, from this point on, go for opening up a glade. If you want to do so, I strongly recommend you to build a trading post so you can summon the trader. Also, summon the trader before the first storm hits town so you can buy materials to resolve the events. I personally am a big fan of opening up the glades and the first storm, just for you. Now, before I leave you, here are a few thoughts about the first few drafts. When you're drafting, take your time. They are not going bad, they are not running away, and whatever you draft first, my personal order of importance goes like this. Most important are materials like, well, do we have some here? Yeah, here. Planks, bricks, fabric. These materials, the ability to craft these is absolutely important and imperative. The next important step is complex food, like biscuits. Of course, the production of basic foods is on the same level as bricks and stuff, so building materials, basic foods, then complex foods like biscuits and the like, and after that, services and the buildings to produce the items like tea and tea workshops and whatnot. If you follow these steps, you usually have a way easier time in drafting, but drafting will still stay a nightmare, don't you worry. And when it comes down to the orders, my personal tip here is that I always try to go for the rewards that I see fit. Not so much for the objective. I always try to check, is the reward the one that I want to have? And then I check out how I can fulfill the objective, not the other way around. Sometimes if you can't fulfill any objective well, or if all rewards don't look too spicy, you can of course forgo this little idea. Now that's all I had to say. I hope you found this helpful. This little setup here gives you everything you need to get started. And as you see here, you can set it up during one season with no props at all. Alright, hope you found that helpful. Leave me your comments down below, leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing. I'd be delighted if you did. Have a good one, and see you on the next video.